Peace and blessings, y'all. This is your boy Gerald. It is the 22nd of January, 2016. How is everyone doing? Now you're in the midst of your weekend. And I know for some of y'all, this is a weekend that will have many emotional connections to it. Because, see, on this weekend, you're going to be forced out of your comfort zone. Some of you may be dealing with the weather. Somewhere there may be places where snow did not exist, but it does. Some of you may be dealing with the reality of the ice. Some of you may be out there in the traffic where it seems like it's not going anywhere but standing still. But there's a reason for it all, y'all. The reason for that is it's a reflection of where you are at that moment because you are part of it. This is part of your reality. And maybe for some, this is requiring you to reflect. So, how is each and every one of y'all doing? You've navigated through your week. Maybe you're waking up just like me, having your coffee, and you're taking that time to reflect on the things, the people, and the experiences that were cataloged through these last 6 days. Now you're finally in that headspace that is called you. So, what was it that you saw this week that made you scratch your head? Or was it something that made you ponder that you may have seen before? And now you're saying, you know what? I know I wasn't crazy the first time I heard it. I know I wasn't misguided when I saw that reaction. Now I've got clarity of what it means. See, some of you are pondering conversations past. Some may be looking at people differently because you are able to see what was there the whole time. So now we've got winter. Some of us already been in winter, but now winter is finally putting its position that once was delayed right in front of us. And I know that some of you may be feeling, well, you know what, Joe, I'm not the type that is feeling the snow. You know, I feel a certain kind of way when I go out in the elements. I know some of you may be thinking, so, well, you know what, Joe, I'm a tropical person. Well, I don't get down with the cold. But little do you know, it is being required that you do. So now, this is your weekend, and you're embracing this time. Some of you may have to work. Some of you may be playing. Or some of you may be within yourself. I commend you because, see, everything that I've tried to convey since the first strike of 2016 is for you to validate yourself. I know in this time there may have been someone that said, you know what? As much as it pains me to do so, I must take another journey. I know I'm talking to someone that you thought that would always be by your side. Now there is a division. Now there is a requirement that causes you to claim yourself. Because you see what's at stake. What was at stake, what was always used for bartering, that was your self-worth. And you said to yourself, I would never do that again. But see, you were conflicted at one time, and now you've got a little bit more air in those lungs. You've got a little bit more foundation in those feet. And that heart is beating a little bit more faster than it was before. Because, see, you understand that that was truth. And we all know that truth has a way, doesn't it? That's why it doesn't benefit us to run away from ourselves. But see, some are being made believers. Some are starting to see the things that were seeds planted long ago. The harvest was already there. They just tended to overstep it, overlook it, like it was the pink elephant in the room. But little do you know, it was those roots, no matter the circumstance, no matter how it was being displayed, those roots ran deep. See, haven't you noticed how with a plant, it doesn't matter what you do to the stems, it doesn't matter what you do to the leaves. As long as those roots are intact, it will survive. And I think that a lot of you are saying that right now. Gerald, I'm a survivor. I don't know how I got out of this last one. I don't know what occurred, but I know I'm on the other side of this and I can breathe a little bit easier now. I may not have all the pieces understood, but I understand this. I am not who I once was. I know I'm talking to someone. There's a reason for it all, and his name's God. I've been trying to convey this to each and every one of you. If you could only see how beautiful you are. But see, not trying to come off on a political rant because that's not my style. Never was. But I'm also that person that don't ask me a question if you don't want the truth. And this is something I had to learn for myself. Because when you decide to stand in your truth, guess what? That foundation that was already there is made apparent. And those things that cannot stand the test of time, guess what? They fall. That's why anything that's made by man's hands always comes with an expiration date. So what I'm saying to you is this. If it's not divinely meant for you, why do you think it's going to hold up? If you can't see it for what it is, why are you surprised that the outcome never turns out the way you strive it to be? That's not your walk. Never was, never will be. You know why? Because every time you take in that beautiful breath, it validates the one that you took initially when you came to this world. I know I'm talking to someone. So now you're tired of scratching your head. You know that there are people where you work at your job that have covertly and systematically made a point to hold you back. Oh, yes. Yeah, we call them haters. But this is on a deeper level. This is those that want to go beyond the call of duty. They want to make sure that you do not have a voice. You do not have the ability to stand up for you. The reason for that is the threat. There's something about you that they realize is different. And it's not because it's ego. It's not because of pride. It's because now you're placing God first in everything you do. I know I'm talking to someone. So the like-mindedness that you once had, the passive, the passive aggressive positions that you use just to keep the status quo. You said, I got to take that mask off. This ain't me. And since this is not me, how am I able to say that I'm living? Because this is not my life. I know I'm talking to somebody. You tired of riding in that passenger seat knowing that the person driving is telling you nothing but lies. And so now you're saying to yourself, I'm tired of being that pawn. I'm tired of towing a rope that does not have my name. But because of strong holding, because of an agenda that you thought would suit you, now you're starting to see what it really costs. Why do you think that you were beside yourself and you did not, how can I say this? You know something's wrong when you can't embrace your own emotions. You know something's wrong when your behavior is not like you, and you've had people tell you, even strangers say, why, what has gotten into you? Why do you act and see the world the way you do? And yet you could not respond. Don't you realize that was nothing but a spiritual influence of the company you keep? That's why you never heard people talk about God. They always gravitated towards man, what man has done, what I have done, what I'm going to do. But you never heard people say, God made it possible. Oh, yes, you're starting to see those. Then you feel a certain kind of way because what you're really seeing is the spiritual essence that is found within them. I know I'm talking to someone. So now you're making a conscious decision that you're going to try to take that first step back to you. Oh, I know I'm talking to somebody. You saying, I can't lay in this bed because this bed doesn't have love in it. It has plenty of titillation and stimulation. Oh, yes, you can make that click, clack, but you don't love me. You said to yourself, I knew it from the point I looked in your eyes and I saw a stranger looking back. I know I'm talking to someone. So you're now standing up. You're now starting to see the things that may have been those questions about your family, why your family act the way they do, why they respond the way they do, and why they're not grown. It seems like the only time that they come together is because they have to have a crusade to put out a fire that always tends to reignite. I know I'm talking to someone. See, when you decide to stop playing, stop running, and start loving, your viewpoint will change. It has to, because we also know this. You can't be in two places at the same time physically, but you also know that it's taxing and exhausting to feel that way emotionally. I know I'm talking to someone. You got connections to that one, and this one, and that one, and this one, but there's no growth there. The commonality is they only come around when their hands out or when their pants is down, only to rob you of your smile. You think that's supposed to be your life? Huh? Ain't nobody getting no pass. Because guess what? When you decide to get real with yourself, God will start to show you your life. I know somebody's saying, well, Gerald, why would God deliberately delay my life? Have you ever thought maybe because he's got something better? Hmm? You ever thought about that? You maybe can't think that if you're still on that high horse, if you keep allowing your environment to sway your judgment. You know, it's kind of like that proverbial uh, saying that we hear: if you see somebody jump off a bridge, you're gonna do it too. Of course you wouldn't. But if you don't know where you're going or the next step you're going to take, guess what? You may already have fallen. So I'm going to spin it. If you're going to fall, why don't you fall back in love with yourself? I know I'm talking to someone. But see, you're allowing someone to take the steering wheel of your life to run it into that unforeseen block. How about that brick wall called self-denial? You turn around trying to emulate someone else's life instead of claim your own. And if you would only take a step back, look at where you've been. Look at all the people that have interacted with you. But look at where you are now. And be honest with yourself and ask yourself, is it worth it? I'm going to give you 5 seconds to think about that. Time's up. Because I'm going to tell you, it wasn't. I'm going to tell you, God's got something better. That's why I always try to convey to each and every one of you, only a chosen few is going to know your legacy. These people are going to know your story. They're going to learn from the path that you have already made. But you keep listening to those people in the cheap seats. And guess what? You'll only see a carbon copy, a cookie cutter of what you should have had all along. I know I'm talking to someone. That's right, my kings. You sitting up here, sitting down, drinking a fifth like it's water because of she don't want to give you a time of day, because your stick man don't understand that you want to grow, because you have a family member that scoffs at your dreams and admirations. When you gonna put that bottle down? Huh? When you gonna put them drugs to the side? Don't you realize the more you invest on those curricular activities are the same things that are gonna hold you back later on? You're gonna need that beautiful mind to become yourself. That's why I keep trying to convey to each and every one of you, God, the Most High, is a jealous and loving God. Some of your disappointments happen to break off the rough edges that have been attached or assigned to you by the devil. Sometimes you're going to go through loss. You know why you go through loss? So you can look around to see who's there. Everybody knows this. When you're shining, standing tall with your chest out, everybody wants to know your name. But when you slip, trip, and bust your lip, they don't know you. They're quick to pull out them daggers and insert them in your back. Those are not your friends. They never was. These were what we know as opportunists. And the opportunists don't need your help to expose themselves. But it does require your truth to see it for what it is. Don't you think you deserve more? We're talking about your life. We're talking about your dreams. We're talking about the impact that you're going to make to people that you don't even know. We're talking serendipity, y'all. We're talking synchronicity, y'all. Nothing happens by chance. That's why it's very important that you govern your time. And that is why I'm going to humbly, from the bottom of my heart, tell you each and every time I treasure this moment that you give me right now. Because you could have gave that to anything, but you are hearing words from this brother's spirit to validate what matters most. And that's you. There will never be another you on this planet. But you can't see this, you can't see the world from on your back. Let's get it right. You're gonna only see a jaded view. That's why some of you right now, your sex drive is through the damn roof. And some of y'all may be thinking, well, Gerald, I am of that age and, I've got wants and needs and desires. And, when I want my fancy tickled, I want it tickled. I ain't knocking you for that. That's about being alive. But did you ever ponder this? What about the people that you are giving access to? Did they earn it? Are they your friends? Because, see, a lot of people get the word friendship caught up with association. Let me make this clear so you can understand this. See, a friend, that is a very blessed title to have. And I say this because that is another human being that unconditionally loves you. But get this, if they don't unconditionally love themselves first, they will never see your best intentions. I know I'm talking to someone. It doesn't matter what sexual chemistry you share between that person because it feels new. See, that's what the devil does, y'all. He listens to your dreams. He takes stock in your desires. All those times you may have said in your mind, they didn't have to fall from your mouth. You said it in your mind. You know what? I want some of that. And I should have put a disclaimer out here, so I'm gonna be PC about it. But I know that my channel, the one thing is clear. Everybody that listens to this channel wants one thing, and that's to be at peace, to be happy, to truly know what being happy is. And that's something that's found within you. But you keep listening to what is pumped through the media. I keep trying to tell you, queens, society wants you to play the prostitute. Society wants you to willfully exploit yourself, and they're doing a good job at it. But you hold your head up, because I know 50% of those decisions you've made were expressions of what you thought love was. If you don't know what the wolf looks like and you're amongst the sheep, why does it surprise you get gobbled up? That's why I'm asking you to pick your head up, love yourself more, allow yourself to heal, You looking at that inner thigh of yours, and you see that bruise. I know I'm talking to someone, and you're saying I shouldn't have this. And every day you try to walk, you get that reminder of that wound. But you know, deep down inside, that was nothing but straight up assault. But he convinced you, oh no, we're gonna try something different. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that's what you want. Yeah. Got you screaming that night because your backside is inflamed. Let me tell you something. Love don't hurt. But for my young ones, male or female, let me put this in perspective for you. If you are under the age of 30, 30, you don't have a perspective of what the world is about. You just see a small slither of what your reality is. It's because you don't know you yet. And let me spin that paradigm. You have those who do, and they're banking off of you being naive. That's why every time you go over to his house, he tell you take your clothes off because he wants you butt naked and in the kitchen. But he convinced you to come over to talk about some bills. I know I'm talking to someone. So Ken, you sitting over there getting toe up, getting bent, when in actuality deep down inside what you need to do is cry. You're saying to yourself, why does she keep doing this? It's because she don't know who she is. But you don't know who you are either. I know I'm talking to someone. That's why your relationship is the way it is. Because guess what? God ain't in that. But guess what? I ain't gonna crash your bubble. I'm gonna tell you this. I am gonna give you a little ray of hope. And it depends on how you embrace it. Just know this. If something is ordained by God for your life, guess what? You're still breathing. You're still breathing because you have a purpose that you have to fulfill. That means you got a job that has to play out. There's an interaction that has to occur. Now, I'm the first one to tell you anybody can change, but not anybody can live. I know I'm talking to someone. That's why I've echoed through the last 3.5 years. Kings, queens, stop looking for your mate. Stop. You saying to yourself, why am I going to do that, Gerald? I want companionship. You won't understand companionship until you become your own companion. Why you think that you have seen this? You get in your bed and you can't sleep in it because you long for interaction. That coldness on the other side of that bed is haunting you. It's because you don't have intimacy with yourself. Society is convinced many people that intimacy is shared through a physical exchange. I ain't got to tell you. Look at TV. They're starting younger and younger to convince, to condone sexual gratification. So why do you expect the outcome not to be broken? See, until you learn to love yourself, you won't know what love is. And for those who are going to embrace that, you, I'm going to tell you this too. It is normal to feel a little aggressive when that light bulb or that spiritual awakening occurs, because you're going to look back and you're going to say, I shouldn't have been with you. 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 I shouldn't have let you even hear me breathe. Because what is happening is your self-worth and value is being put in front of you for review. You actually think that that beautiful soul called you is only good for one thing, but yet you feel a certain way when you're around them. You have to dumb down. I know I'm talking to someone. Stop saying that you got man issues when you have issues with yourself. Stop saying that. The fact of the matter is, we attract what we are. So if you're tired of being cheated on, stop cheating yourself. If you're tired of being lied to, stop carrying that lie and start doing something different. I know I'm talking to somebody. You meet somebody new and the conversation is very stimulating, and you're saying to yourself, he's different. He's not like him, only to see that that was part of a game that you once played. So you're playing mental chess amongst each other only to waste time, only to wave the white flag, because the end goal is to what? See who can get the better deal out of the deception. Nobody wins in that game but the devil, because he's sitting back in a cut saying, I knew that. Why you think I brought him in your life? See, words have power, y'all. They always have, always will. That vibration will only matter to what it attracts. That's why some of y'all feel a certain way when people use the word Love. I might as well be talking in Portuguese, but you can't relate because you never knew what love was because you didn't see it in your childhood. Then had the audacity to allow someone that you thought was friend to convince you, well, you want love, there's going to be some pain. How ignorant is that? People cannot do what you won't allow. But guess what? Demons do it all the time. Oh, you want that handsome man that's got it going on? Words like honey, only to wait you out, to beat your ass. Excuse my French, but I know I'm talking to someone. Treating you like a convict in your own home, but you're doing solitary confinement in your mind. I know I'm talking to someone. You think your life is supposed to be that way? Huh? Who you fooling? Why you running? Ain't you tired? But what's amazing is you give them a pass. You give them a pass when they give you the things you want, not what you need. See, for the black community, we call that being ghetto, hood-minded. I like to call it ghetto-licious because though she or he may think he is the next thing to sliced bread, he's the most broken. He's one step or one moment from a breakdown, trying to hold it together. But you know what's amazing? Because see, even with the willful choices we make, the foolishness we embrace, we think that because that pink elephant is in the room, as long as we keep our head forward, it will go away. All you're doing is delaying the inevitable because it's true. So tell me you don't deserve that. And I'll turn around and say this: ain't you worth it? We're talking about your life. We're talking about your legacy. We're talking about your dreams and aspirations that are being willfully bartered. For what? An illusion? He treats you like a punching bag, only to turn around to throw a set of keys because he knows that'll shut you up. I know I'm talking to someone. He told you he will give you the house of your dreams as long as you keep your mouth closed. I know I'm talking to someone. Let me ask you this. Where's the love in that? Where's God in that? Because God don't do that. Because last time I checked, God is the reason why you breathe. God is the reason why your heart continues to beat. And God is the reason why he keeps showing you those dreams. See, I know some of you right now having issues with them dreams, ain't you? Yeah, you are. They're getting real now. Starting to have dreams about family members that have transitioned on to the other side. And it's got you shook. Got you to the point that you feel that you have to medicate yourself to a place of numbness just to close your eyes. I know I'm talking to someone. Let me tell you something. Doesn't matter what you try to do for recreation to block out the truth. You may be seeing those dreams prophetically to let you know maybe you are at risk or maybe your breakthrough is coming. But just know this: you have free will. And if you think that you wake up every day to eat, to take up space, and not be accountable, you're fooling yourself. Oh, yes, you're fooling yourself. If you believe that you are tied to this person that you know God ain't in his life, God ain't in her life, but because she brings this to the table, that ain't nothing but the devil trying to convince you not to see your worth. Because he likes using your insecurity. He will even convince you this. I know this person right here don't mean nothing good to me, but I'll be damned if I let the next woman have him. How arrogant is that? He almost knocked your teeth out. I know I'm talking to somebody, but you won't pack your stuff up and leave. But do you not see the coincidence? He has more respect for his rims than he does you. But yet you get up every day, make him have a good meal, make sure that his feet are light because you're draining, thinking that's going to keep him loyal. Let me tell you something. He ain't loyal to you. She ain't loyal to you because they're not loyal to themselves. And it's going to continue to intensify until you decide to love yourself, till you decide to have that conversation. That's why things are playing out the way they are. You ain't supposed to suffer. You're supposed to stand. I know I'm talking to someone. So how many bruises you gonna take? How much abuse you gotta hide? It's gotten to the points even the people that don't have your best interest have come to you and asked, "How'd you get that?" Ain't that many bike falls and skateboards that can hide a lie? Because let me tell you what, y'all. A person that has walked the path of abuse knows abuse when they see it. No different than a person that walks with God, they feel it. So it's your responsibility to claim your life back. That's right. Do something different because you already know what don't work. You already know. That's why you can't get that high like you did before. It's not high enough. But I tell this to someone because I feel this on my spirit. Let me tell you this. Somebody's playing a dangerous game right now with narcotics. And you thinking, well, if I dabble in it, you know, I know what I'm doing. You don't realize this. Uh, if you ain't growing it and you buying it, you don't know where they got it. You don't know where they're cutting it. And you keep doing it, guess what? You're going to overdose. Your secrets are going to come out. Why you think your money's keeping? That's why some of y'all are going through financial hassles now. God is using your finances to get your attention. But you've convinced yourself because the devil likes to sit shotgun and say, well, you know what? If I call Mr. Johnny over here and give him a little wiggle, he'll make my problems go away. Let me tell you something. Mr. Johnny don't care about you, and Mr. Johnny got a bench. And when you don't want to play, guess what? He just pulls from the bench. Because guess what? Mr. Johnny know how he got you. Now, I'm about to wrap this up. It's 2016, y'all. You got a lot of breakthroughs, a lot of blessings that got your name on it. And God is just not going to treat your life like a gumball machine, put a quarter in there and click, 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 and out comes your blessing. Nope. Uh-uh. He's going to constantly show you things through your interactions. Why you think you're hearing the songs that you hear on the radio? You so spooked, you don't even mess with the radio anymore because every time you turn the radio on, you hear that song. You're scratching your head like, why are they playing this song at this time of the day? It's because God is using whatever he has to get your attention. Lastly, my king, I've been talking about this pretty openly these last years, especially this last year. If you have offspring and you're not actively in their lives, you better make it so. And I'm saying this for two reasons. Reason number one, you see where you are right now? Your life will not progress until you heal that bond. That backlash that you're feeling is not supposed to feel comfortable because they are in turmoil because they long for your presence. You need to get off your high horse and stop worrying about what your child's mother is doing. But I know someone's saying, well, Gerald, she played me. You may even said this. Oh man, I told her I didn't want no child. We decided to have an abortion. No, you convinced her. You convinced her. And she said no. And guess what? You got two beautiful eyes, 10 toes, 10 feet, looking just like you, longing for her father. But guess what? You can't just pick the phone up and say, hey, how I'm doing? Because she mad at you. She mad for the birthdays you weren't there. She mad not because of the gifts you sent. What she's mad about is the things she does not understand about herself. Because guess what? Half of you is half of her. And it's your responsibility to ensure that your history is taught. Now you can turn around and allow time to rob you. And they will continue to get older. They will continue to grow in resentment. And then there'll be a point where you say, well, you know what? I'm just going to show up and they're not going to have no love for you. But don't let that distract you. Because I'm going to tell you what, when you put those arms around that child, the pain will go away. Because they want reassurance. When you take the time to smell that scent, to feel that hair, to feel that jawline, to look into those eyes, their heart will melt in the shape of you. I know I'm talking to someone. What I'm trying to say is this. Right now, the devil thinks he's winning because the Jezebel spirit is doing work and is fragmenting families across the world with fear, with pride, with ignorance. If you worried about who is between her legs and not worried about what's going on with your child, you lose now, brother. Especially if you have a daughter. Because you know what's going to happen? If you persist, she's going to go through life trying to figure out what a man is. And the template that she has is going to be shown through the streets. And there's going to be a lot of bruises and a lot of scars and a lot of pain that could have been prevented because of your presence. But you know what's even worse? If you do not decide to love yourself and go within and allow the healing to begin, you know what's going to happen? Somebody is going to come and do this, looking just like you. God is praying for you. You know I am. I see your worth. And for that, it helps me discern mine. If it's your story, isn't it your responsibility to define it? Don't worry about the people walking with you. If they love you, it's because they love themselves and they put God first. Stop worrying about the things you don't have control of and embrace the things you do. You're not supposed, your life is not supposed to be a regret. It's an experience. The moment that you know you. Love to hear from you. By all means, the videos are for everyone. You want to share them? Share them. That's what they're there for. But what really matters is I want you to love yourself. I want you to claim your life back. I want you to have all the blessings that had your name on it the moment you took your first breath. I know some of y'all tired. I know some of y'all feel that you're alone. You're not. Because I'm going to tell you what, I'm just like you. But you know what I do? I start my day and end my day the same way, in prayer. And I pray for each and every one of you because, see, I know somebody prayed for me. So I'm going to keep giving y'all love. If you got any questions and concerns, by all means, hit me up. Each one teach one. Looking forward to hearing from you. Have a safe and blessed weekend. Yes, it's snowing. Yes, it's a little nasty. But more importantly, be safe out there because unfortunately, there are people that don't value their time nor their lives. I ain't got to tell you. You see people out there, they got that cell phone right there by the steering wheel. Don't realize one misstep, your life is forever changed. And you got people that love you and they want to see you the same way they saw you life and saw you last, safe. So you owe that to yourself, but you owe that to everybody you come in contact to be the best you. Stop listening to those people in the cheap seats. They've already chose their path. It's up to you to define yours. Stay blessed.